Well, it is back to work for the Prime Minister today and his team, of course, for the start of a second term. But the Liberal Party is now beginning the long work to save its future and maintain its relevance. Joining us live now on this Monday morning is the Assistant Immigration Minister, Matt Thistlethwaite, and the Liberal Senator Hollie Hughes. Good morning to you both. So, Hollie, much has been said about what went wrong. Who or what do you put it down to for the Liberal Party?
Well, first off, can I say congratulations to Matt on his win. Well done for being re-elected this election. So I'm sure Matt's feeling very relieved this morning. It's devastating for a number of our candidates as well as our sitting members, and I think there's a lot of them really hurting at the moment, and we need to acknowledge that, and especially their staff who all lost their jobs on Saturday night. So it's a very tough time for a lot of people in the Liberal Party. But I think, at the end of the day, it all boils down to the fact that there was just no policy for anyone to sell. There was no economic narrative. There was nothing for people to go out and talk about. And that just became increasingly prevalent throughout the campaign. On behalf of my fellow shadow ministers, I feel for them. I know that I had submitted for my portfolio 7 fully costed policies that went into, for the political hacks out there, they know about the ERC policy, the expenditure review committees that tend to take all of the policy documents from shadow ministers or ministers and put them together into some sort of coherent policy platform. And that just didn't happen. We submitted them in October and never heard back from anyone. And I think that was just evidence throughout the campaign that people they didn't have anything to sell, and policies that had been developed, had been costed, just seemed to disappear into a vortex.
Was it a closed shop as well when it came to shadow ministers and the leader, Peter Dutton, in his office?
Look, Peter was kind of the one-man show in a lot of ways out there, and I know campaigns seem to be moving more to these sort of presidential style of battles between the leaders, but one of the things, and I've said this last night on Sky, I said it last week to Shari Marks, and Murray Watt was out there as the Labor attack dog, and I know Murray well, and he's a very good attack dog, and there was an awful lot of mud being slung this election, and Albanese was caught out lying many times, yet there didn't seem to be anyone on the coalition side that was performing that role and going out to refute these things, and that's not the role of the leader, yet just such an absence of people going out to not only diffuse some of the mud that was being thrown, but also really highlight to the Australian people the danger of what Labor was proposing. I mean, we know that the unrealised gains that will be taxed on people's superannuation, what that is going to do in particular to family farming, but also to industries such as startups will just evaporate if that's going to occur, and capital gains on the family home. Yet people were completely unaware of it because the economic narrative was just lacking.
All right, let's go to Matt. And Matt, yep, congratulations on you. You're back in, and look, on the whole, the Libs and the Greens are out of your way. You've likely got clear air until the 2030s. I mean, what a statement that is. The only real danger is overconfidence, like Howard's work choices. So the floor is yours for proper reform. What do you want to achieve now?
Thanks, Pete, and thank you to Hollie for her very gracious congratulations. And obviously, our commiserations to those MPs who have lost their seats. It can be a difficult game, politics sometimes, and we feel for them. Look, we're not going to be overconfident. We're going to do what we said we would do, and that's deliver on the needs that the Australian people have identified around cost of living, around housing, and around rebuilding Medicare. I think that Anthony Albanese's steady, stable leadership really shone through in this campaign, and the policies and the plan that we put together really reflected what the Australian people wanted from a governing party. And I think the other factor, Pete, was Anthony Albanese's experience and leadership. There's no one in the parliament who has the campaign prominence and ability of the Prime Minister, and I think that really showed through on the weekend.
You fancy a promotion now, Matt? There'd be a few in line for one, I'd say.
Look, Pete, I'm firstly very, very honoured and proud to have been re-elected as the member for Kingsford Smith. This is the area that I've lived in my entire life. I grew up here, and there's no greater honour than representing this wonderful community and these fantastic people. I'm happy to serve in any capacity that the Prime Minister wants me to. I'm very, very proud to be part of his team and to be an Assistant Minister. But those issues will be worked out over the course of the next week.
So, Hollie, who to lead for you now? You know, you could be in opposition for a long time. So, I mean, who'd even want the job is a question.
Well, I mean, great question. I mean, we're still waiting to see who's going to officially put their hand up. But I know who I won't be supporting. I think when you've had roles leading what was supposed to be the economic narrative, when you were supposed to be putting together tax policies, when you were supposed to be delivering that sort of messaging for the coalition, when you are a key member of the ERC, where, quite frankly, as a shadow who submitted 7 costed policies last October and then never heard anything back, and I know from other colleagues in the shadow ministry that was occurring. There's certain people that I think need to do a lot of reflection themselves on what their role was in this loss, and perhaps putting your hand up for the leadership is not exactly where your strength lies, I think. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But Matt, I don't know what promotion or what you're going to get, but as someone who's leaving politics in a couple of months, and, you know, blessings can show themselves in very different ways, because I don't think it's going to be a great place to sit for the next 3, potentially 6 years. I'd just like to put a plug in. I think people like Andrew Charlton absolutely need to be promoted to the front bench. And as someone who's very passionate about the NDIS and making sure that it's sustainable and gets back on track, Andrew is probably going to kill me for this, but you know, I'd like to see someone of Andrew's calibre really move into that NDIS portfolio. It's the 3rd biggest item in the budget, and I think someone of his brain and intellect could really help that bipartisan policy come together.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. But Matt, would you agree with that in 10 seconds?
Andrew's a fantastic MP, and he's done a great job being re-elected as the member for Parramatta, definitely.
We'll see where that goes.
How good am I, Matt? I'm even helping you out what you can do with you.
Matt and Hollie, appreciate your time bright and early on this Monday morning. Thank you.